Today on MuscleCar, it's airflow tech as Lou and Jared fab a custom radiator shroud and ram air induction. Then in flashback, it's the fabled Shelby 427 Cobra. Plus, Project Crate Camaro gets its crate engine.
Hey guys, welcome to MuscleCar. Today our park shagging El Camino is going to get a serious breath of fresh air with a cold air induction setup done MuscleCar style.
And our Crate Camaro is going to start looking like a real car. Not only are we going to hang the rest of the sheet metal on it, we're going to put it in this baby.
And that's cool, but first we need to get under the hood of that El Camino.
Let's do it.
First things first, before we even think about that cold air setup, we need to get all the stuff on the motor that's crucial.
Yeah, like the radiator, the fan, and the hoses, just to make sure nothing gets in the way of our intake. And we'll fab everything in aluminum.
Hey, you guys know how hot it can get under the hood. One thing we're going to do to keep our radiator cool is build a fan shroud.
My good man.
For that.
Something you guys got to keep in mind, the big three have been using fan shrouds for years. Tap into that knowledge base. It's a wealth of information. I got to go build the front end, man.
Yeah, you're cramping my style. Hit the road. For maximum efficiency, you're going to want to keep the fan blades about 3/4 of an inch off the face of the radiator. So I made these blocks. They're going to hold the fan in place while I take my measurements. Converting to an electric fan will give us about 10 to 15 more horsepower compared to a stock mechanically driven fan. I'm going to shear a piece of aluminum to size and bend some 45-degree angles. That'll keep the fan the desired distance from the core. We're using a sheet of 90 thousandths thick 3003 aluminum. It's malleable enough to give us clean bends. And that's how you make a holiday cookie treat pan surprise. Oh yeah, that looks killer. It's gonna look even better under the hood of that El Camino. Now our next step is to cut a hole in this thing for the fan, and I'm gonna show you a really cool way to do that with the plasma cutter. Okay, to do this, I took a piece of aluminum, and at one end I drilled a hole for a center point, and at the other end I drilled a hole at the appropriate length for the plasma cutter tip. What I'm gonna do is take this sucker, I'm gonna lay it on our fan shroud, use it like a compass to make a perfect hole for our fan. It's gonna be awesome. Now another cool thing is you can use this little tool over and over again. Just drill different holes in it for different diameters.
Now that we've got all this newfound power in our part shagger, we got to make sure it can handle as well as stop. So we're going to take care of that with Automotive suspension parts and bare brakes. Here's a little tip for you guys. I always like to keep the castle nuts on, screw them out about halfway before I break it loose. This way nothing scares you. I mean, if this spring pops out, you're gonna have some troubles. Something you guys have got to do, whether you're using your old control arms over or new ones like our Global West pieces here, put your shims back where you got them from. It makes it so much easier to realign your car. Stopping this baby's gonna be a breeze with these monster 13-inch cross-drilled and slotted rotors. Something you gotta remember though, you always want to make sure that your slots are pointing in the direction that you're going. That's so you can get the heat out of the rotor. We're using Automotive's new Classic Series MuscleCar shocks.
What I've been working on is going to be our fan bracket. This dude's going to hold the motor the correct distance above the radiator. So the next step is to bend these arms down and weld it to the shroud. Before we install this thing permanently, I'm just going to spray the face of it flat black so you don't see it through the grill. Lou, check this thing out, man.
Dude, I'm liking that.
Is that bad or what?
Oh yeah, I got the suspension done. Let's slam that thing in.
Let's do it, man.
Always make sure that your radiator is isolated in rubber. This is gonna keep it from getting damaged due to vibration.
Hey, you're gonna wanna make sure that fan's turning in the right direction, otherwise your car's gonna overheat and fast. So I'm gonna show you a cool way to do that. Just hook the fan to a battery and put a piece of paper in front of the radiator. If it sucks the paper against it, you're golden. If not, just reverse the motor wire. Now that we get all this stuff buttoned up, it's time to start on that cold air project.
Oh yeah, and this baby's gonna scream.
Up next, part 5 of our Crate Camaro build.
Okay, yeah, now, that gap's pretty nice now.
Hey guys, our Crate Camaro is closer to being done, and we're gonna finish test fitting today.
Oh yeah!
Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip the engine and tranny in this thing and put on the rest of the sheet metal.
And that's a really good idea when you're building a car on the shop floor like this, because if you wait till all the panels are on before you put this weight in there, all that alignment could change. Hey, I was thinking we got a serious dilemma on our hands.
What do we got?
We only have one cherry picker and 2 engines.
Oh my God. Hold on, let me show you how manly I am.
Go, Lou. Go, go, go. You're about to see a feat of strength. Unknown to many man. Oh my God. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Nice little bouncing action. Couple more hours, we'll have this thing in the air.
Now that we've got the weight in the car, we're gonna put on the rest of our sheet metal. But in order to hang the doors, we gotta take these fenders off.
If you guys decide to tackle something like this at home, it's a lot easier if you grab a friend, or in my case, somebody like Lou.
Hey, calm down.
It's a lot easier to set the gaps when somebody else is tightening the bolts. When we put these doors on, the main thing we're looking for is the gap along the back edge of the door and the rocker panel. That looks pretty good, Lou.
Well, I got these bolts tightened, so let's get those fenders on.
Let's do it. Bullseye. I'd like to point out to the viewers, Lou wears a do-rag because he's too lazy to do anything with his hair.
I'm putting my fender on, I got this 1/2-inch gap, not a problem. Bam! Use your shims, they'll save your life. You put it in, gotta be careful now, so you don't drop them. Grab your bolt. Now that baby sits right.
Hey guys, when you're aligning panels, don't forget to tighten down every bolt, because you'd be surprised how much leaving just one bolt loose can affect your alignment.
Hey, I'm tired of waiting for you. I'm ready to put the hood on. Are you ready?
Yeah, you want to talk. You took the easy side. Let's go.
Hey, idea.
I got it. The hinges, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hands.
Hold it, I'll go get them.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, now, that gap's pretty nice, huh? Well, with the hood in place, that leaves us just one more major panel.
The trunk! And you put it on just like you do the hood.
Man, every day this thing's getting sweeter.
Man, every day it's getting better and better, but you know what? We gotta get back on the El Camino.
I like where your head's at.
Next, a big block with fangs. The Shelby 427 Cobra.
There's a lot of debate on what truly is a muscle car. Some people say that it's cars from the 60s and 70s. Other people say it's the kind of car that can knock out a quarter mile in 13 seconds. But no matter what anyone says, there is no argument. The 427 Cobra is a true piece of American muscle.
Muscle Car Flashback. This week, the Shelby 427 Cobra.
Gearheads know the Cobra story. In 1962, Carroll Shelby created the light car, big motor concept by grafting small block Ford V8 into tiny British AC sport cars. But in 1965, Shelby raised the bar by shoehorning a 7-liter Ford big block. The result? Absolute overkill. The brutally quick 427 Cobra SC.
The SC looked fast standing still. It was an aluminum skin, two-seat sports car, all juiced up on roids. This thing was a pure race car. Track-ready fuel door, roll bar, no door handles or side windows, wide wheel flares over humongous tires, and competition side pipes that scream, "Take me to the track."
And its long fenders feature heat relief vents, and a prominent hood scoop feeds the beast air. Up front, Nerf bars accented the large open snout that helped cool down the big 427.
They're an e-ticket ride all the way. I mean, you get in one of these babies, you just hold on. But you really, really, really need to be on your game.
The Shelby sticks, thanks to a wider tube chassis, fat 70 series tires on 15-inch starburst wheels, coil-over suspension, and disc brakes on all four corners.
Inside it's all business with bucket seats, top loader 4-speed, wood rim wheel, and a basic dash with oil temp and pressure gauges.
But it's the monster quad car big block that made this car a legend.
A good running 427 Cobra, we're talking about a car with 450 horsepower or better in a car that weighs 2,200 or 2,300 pounds. You know, it's dangerous, but it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Fun? I'm talking 0 to 60 in a tick under 4 seconds, and 0 to 100 and back to a dead stop in 14 seconds. It's a 160-mile-an-hour race car with a license plate. Hard to believe Shelby was selling that level of performance in 65 for a skosh under $6,000.
Those awesome stats, and the fact that Shelby America built only 316 427s is why they are so valuable today. How valuable? Colin Comer's Cobra has history. It was Shelby's original PR car and the first 427 invoiced as a street legal vehicle. Its estimated value today, $600,000 to $700,000. That's a 10,000% increase.
So if you ever get the opportunity to drive a real 427 Cobra, you better jump on it, because it's an experience you'll never forget. And that's exactly what Carroll Shelby had in mind. Hey you guys, welcome back. And now we're gonna get our part shagger breathing better.
And to do that, we're gonna make a badass cold air induction setup. I'm gonna start this project by laying out a path from the throttle body to the fender well. To get to the cold air, I'll cut a hole in the inner fender. Could you give me a piece of tape?
I most certainly can. Let me help you out.
Perfect. Okay, up in the air, Monsieur.
Something that we really like about this front end is we actually took out the directionals and we're gonna make scoops for our cold air package. It's gonna be so cool.
Hey Lou, check this out.
What do you got?
Thinking we'll put the filter here, just run another 90 off that pipe we dropped in.
And we can run it more like over into here.
Yeah. I took some measurements, so I'm gonna lay the scoops out on this sheet metal, then I'm gonna cut them out, bend them up, and put them on the car. Hey man, I just got those scoops done.
Dude, this one is ready to be welded.
Cool, looks good. Hey, since we're moving that battery into the cab, that's gonna allow us to bring cold air in from both sides of the car. So our next step is to take these two pipes and marry them together at the throttle body. We'll get the angles of each pipe so we know where to cut them.
Thing looks good, man. It's righteous. Hey, you guys, if your welding skills on aluminum aren't that great, that's okay. You can still lay it out, mark your pipes, take it to a reputable welding shop or one of your friends who can weld aluminum, and you're good to go.
Okay, so we're ready to weld this thing together, but these two joints on either side we're going to leave unwelded, and then we're just going to connect those with silicone hose so this thing's easier to get in and out of the car.
Dude, I got all the hoses and everything.
Oh yeah, cool.
Clamps.
I can hear it now. Lots of breathing.
This is the scoop that we fabricated, and it's what we did was we painted it flat black so when we put it up in the grill area, it'll just disappear. And we're gonna use these high flow air filters from Air Raid.
You hear that thing sucking air, man? That is so bad.
You hear it?
Oh yeah.
That is so awesome.
This thing's gonna sound like Darth Vader going down the road. I guess that's it for this week, guys. We'll see you next time.
Hey, later. That is so crazy. Goosey.